Hello. Hello everyone. And welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So, yesterday we found our true opponent in this, trial, which is Miss Giselle Brett. And I think it's not a real name, but it's alright. By the way, speaking about names, we are playing as Ryunosuke Naruhodo, which is supposed to be the ancestor of Phoenix Wright. I don't remember his Japanese name, but it is Naruhodo. So that's something. Anyway, let's get into that. November 1:14 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. That's her with the box. Package.
Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense. But why this sudden ingress into my courtroom?
Ha! A judicial assistant? And a woman, no less. The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify.
Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. What is it?
Ha! You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded.
5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more.
But, Your Excellency...
I am most grateful. Who exactly are you, by the way? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please simply accept this for now. What is it? A report about something? Written in English? What? It's Giselle Brett's research. Really? The English woman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper.
Oh, yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case?
Oh, I'm afraid I don't know.
What? She doesn't know?
I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself.
Oh no, of course not.
Special characteristic of curare and its effects on human subjects.
Interesting.
Curare? What's that? Never heard that word before.
Time's up. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom.
There was too little time for me to read it in detail. But I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eyes over it. Oh, this is wonderful, thank you. Giselle's report has been entered into the court record. Goodbye then, and good luck. Oh well, thank you. Alright, court records.
You have had long enough, Counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer.
Oh, we'll have to check that report. God damn it. Report stating an unknown poison that Miss Brett has been researching during her time at Hume University. Synopsis. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungle of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Oh, maybe this guy wasn't dead. He was just incapacitated. Oh, hi, Mrs. How are you doing tonight? Effects. Special characteristics. Effects. Instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death. Even in minutes doses. Route of entry. The above mentioned effect occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Okay. Practical applications. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have applications as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. Oh, that would be, you know, a problem. Okay. So that girl just handed us a report about that woman's research, which is about a poison. Which is a weird coincidence. Okay.
I asked the prosecution or the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Oh, Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance.
Oh yes, I know.
Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett.
Oh yes, Your Excellency.
If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
Oh, it's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I have to politely...
Forgive me, Miss Brett, it seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order.
How are you today? Oh, I'm fine. I'm good. I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady.
I thought she would have the glass. I don't think she... Well, you know, Brett would have hidden the glass or destroyed it, I don't know. Maybe it's gonna resurface somewhere, but...
So, counsel. What is this new evidence that demands the court's attention?
What could it be? Present.
Yes.
Mr. Zale Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Hume University doing research. Still don't know what this thing on his hand is. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison.
What?
Poison? Where are you going with this, Council?
A toxin known as Kurar, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
What? What complete and utter nonsense! Kurar, you say? I've never even heard of it.
You wouldn't have done.
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of Kurar before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country.
Doesn't exist?
Correct, which means no matter what tests the police can do for toxins that never identify Kurar.
Why?
Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison.
What?
Order! 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 Council, does this deadly poison truly exist?
According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England. Kurar has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists.
To lace their arrows?
The report says that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. It was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with Kurar suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Pratt?
A trumpery!
What trumpery? What does he have to do with that?
These aspersions are utter trumpery! To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed.
That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector?
Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible sign of distress is evidence that Kurar was used.
Explain yourself, Counsel.
The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible sign of pain at all.
How terrible.
Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effect could go largely unnoticed.
But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death.
The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail.
Respiration?
In other words, the actual cause of death is
suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move.
That's hideous.
To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly Kirar poison.
Everyone is silent.
And you're suggesting that this bottle, Council, actually contains this terrifying poison?
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense. If I may. All these facts. You think you're so clever.
It is you who must be taught.
Of course. Dear lady.
So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them? I'm appalled. What a loathsome act.
Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual.
Whatever do you mean?
And capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the Great Empire of Japan is breaking the rules.
What's so funny? Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett?
She did break the rules. Yeah, well, you know, usually killing people is against the rules. May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
Well, yes, I don't see. Why not?
Well, she's gonna drink from the bottle. Where does this glass come from? Good thing she had a waiter around. Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. What could she be more, you know? Smug.
Sorry, what?
To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and this foolish courtroom antics, it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers. She's gonna drink it. Wait! What are you doing? No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. Huh? Goodness. Whatever is the matter? You look quite stunned. So, no Karar? The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying? You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue, most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett.
I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries.
Oh, yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given.
This doesn't make sense.
There had to have been poisoned in that bottle.
So how?
How did she? How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it.
Oh well, I suppose if nothing else, this Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. Oh, there has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have killed over dead. Come on, Yunsuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water contains no poison. As I thought, there is no poison in that bottle.
What? Why? Ryunosuke?
Isn't it obvious? If there were poison in there, she'd be dead by now.
Sometimes
your unadulterated naivety. Wait, what? Is that a word? Naivety? Sometimes your unadulterated naivety really astounds me. But sometimes it's in need of good staining until it's as dark as your uniform in the ways of the world. Oh, is that what this color is supposed to represent?
That was a guileless ending to a promising line of inquiry. Counsel, for which you will be penalized.
What? This whole trial is poisoned. There has to have been poison in that bottle. Then there. But there can't have been, because otherwise she would be. Come on, Yunosuke. We have all the clues now. Can we present stuff right now? No. Okay, it contains poison. The culprit did put poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. But it's not what we just said. It's not the bottle, it's the glass. You're serious? Fool! Are you blind? There is no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Brett drinking the water from it. Oh, that's right. Which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained. We need a glass. Well, yeah, of course. We need a glass. How exactly? I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be.
Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explain how the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed? What? Poison made from the bark. Instant paralysis, even in minute doses. The above mentioned effect occurs when the poison enters the body through a wound. That's why. That's why I'm going to present that.
Yes.
The answer for this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
Objection.
That's not a valid explanation.
No?
After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
Oh, I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. Honest, I'm just reading Susato-san's notes.
I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, Counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle?
The special characteristics, I think. Wait, we have to check. Special characteristic, yes. Yes, that's the one. There it is. We've been hearing a lot about this Gerard poison. And this left me curious about something.
Counsel.
Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using these poisons for years and years. To lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting.
So we've been led to believe, yes.
And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please.
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunter were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison.
Good gracious, Counsel. No, that would be madness.
But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristic it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound.
Through a wound? Yes, I see. That makes sense.
Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. The burn, test the burn. Yeah, maybe. But we can't test anything because we don't have the body. But it makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When Karar enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effect. The tooth! He had his tooth surgery. So he had a wound in his mouth. When it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effect whatsoever.
What?
Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew Kurar's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself.
You meddling little...
Oh, this one is mad now.
Well, in this case, it turns out
You're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Oh, really? Me? A lawyer?
Oh, all this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. But I fail to see how it was.
So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. Only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish? Flaw? As even your brain has managed to deduce, Gerard is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric suckers. Well, yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they? So, if this little poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? That's right.
Oh, good gracious.
Oh, that's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no?
Order! Order in court! Order! The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way.
Oh, are you trying to suggest?
Oh yes, this Gerard poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial.
That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that. Dramatic pose. What's going on? What is this? Welling up inside me? I've never felt like this before. He's gonna say it. Objection. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense. Almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey.
Objection! I don't think so, Mr. Selbret. How dare you use that tone with me?
Oh, you know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead.
Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you, you must provide compelling evidence. As we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson have been killed by the Kirar?
Because of that. Take that! As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners.
A fatal difference?
She's stunned. The toxic effects of Kirar are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have. If you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Ah!
Oh!
Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. Ah! Oh, so that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are also puerile. What? What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. What? You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No! I mean, it could just slip. Oh no! Oh dear. How careless of me. Oh, I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No! What is it? What just happened? It's the English woman. She just smashed the bottle. And the Supreme Court. What a terrible blunder.
Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as possible, at once!
Oh, you're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. How could you? You won't get away with this. Oh, you can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle, or not. She's definitely... yeah, she is. Oh, you! Kisama! Let us not forget. We still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? Oh, of course, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady? That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
No! You killed the victim that day, using Kara. And then, in order to frame Yunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you were the ranch for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime.
What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Oh, exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, The prosecution stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Oh, this is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke!
Yes?
We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean?
We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, there must be in your head.
What? What's in my head? In my head? Do I have to open my head?
You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend upon.
Well, yes, that's true, but
I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell.
What I saw, what I felt. Every color.
Are we gonna...
What is this?
Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of this same scene in my head. Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? There's a clue! Of course there's a clue, otherwise we're finished. Oh, actually, Kazuma. I think I might have something. It's the burn? It might not be the burn, it's not on the right side. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Haha! You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe the smug smile of that Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. Oh, it's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is, could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. Is there somewhere the clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is... It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is... yeah, I mean... is it that? Or maybe it's the fork, I don't know. Is it blood or the fork? I'm not sure.
Take that!
Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. What? Yes? What is it?
He's still miles away. Probably thinking about what? About that bottle being smashed. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you?
Absolutely.
I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day.
Objection!
Wait a minute.
Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a spattering of blood. What? Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Ah! Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor, as you were. Giselle Brett. Oh, I beg your pardon? This is beyond ridiculous! Fabricated nonsense! Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has only just remembered seeing? What? This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean... Yes, I took the plate in the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it. So dramatic, yes. You did what? I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. I took them all. And I did it all in the name of justice. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a blood stain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it. Now. Inspector. The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir. Sorry for the delay. Here is what you order. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it? Of course there isn't. Quickly, Inspector, the blood, man. Show the court. Of course, examine the plate at your leisure. Wait, there's no blood. No blood. No blood anywhere. That's the wrong steak. Impossible! I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. Wait. We have to check. Which steak is it? It is the right steak. It looks like it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace to the Empire.
I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial.
Oh, let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. She's making British people look bad. Well, yeah. But then again, I don't know. I'm not sure having a swan in your head is very commonplace, so... But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. This sour-looking steak revealed the fact all too clearly. If the sour-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest. Oh, we have to examine that. The plate of steak has been entered into the court record. Oh, was the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? We have to look at it. Come on now. Where is it? I don't think I would wear that ridiculous hat. Even if it was purple. What? What is this? Huh? Yes, even if... Oh. What the? What in the world is this? I think it's a Coleman coin. And the hallmark is from the Hoi era, I believe. No, I don't mean that. What? I don't mean what is it? I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was from Hoi Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juice, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. Wait, what's it doing there? Oh! It's the coin from the antique guy. This isn't the first time today that there's been talk of the Hoi Koban. Hoi Koban. I've heard of pearls before, swine, but I've never heard of bullion in bullion. And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... I certainly never expected to find this precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. And it's from the Hoi era, too. That would make it really quite valuable. Oh, it's well marinated in the juices as well. Look! Wait, are you thinking of eating it? How weird. Yeah, but maybe not that weird. No, but the next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's going to be racing as I lift at the meat and beer underneath for a prize. It makes no sense, but alright. I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryunosuke. A Kuban coin underneath this steak. There's only one logical explanation. Okay. This is it now. I've lost.
Inosuke. It's not over yet. Not until the final gavel.
Huh?
Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself, really?
Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself.
As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection?
Objection!
That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all?
There's another clue!
Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak.
Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial.
I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled.
I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency.
Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court what you are alluding to.
Where precisely on this plate, on this beefsteak, is this new clue to be found? Is this there? Yes! What in the world is this? Okay, we already had that. No, I don't mean that what it is. Okay, well, come on now. This means... What does it mean? Present!
Got it!
Got it!
Good gracious, that's...
Ikoban? What on earth?
Ahoy, Era 1,
That? Miss Brett, this is, in fact, the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it. I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat. That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction.
Objection!
Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen. A rare Hoi Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now.
He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency.
Yes, Counsel?
He just doesn't care. A rare Hoi Koban just happened to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now. By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway. Perhaps this little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under the stake. The owner? The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. The owner of the caban that was found underneath the beefsteak is... that old man! Kyuryo Korekuta. Present. Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and owner of Rasutei, Kyuryo Korekuta-san. Kyuri? As in Mr. Cucumber something? No, honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired. Oh, the gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor. Sorry, what were you doing? Oh, hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Hoi Era Koban, my prized coin.
Then this Hoi Era Koban. Do you mean to tell me?
No. Please, why would Korekuta-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and his plate? It makes no sense.
Yes.
Exactly my point. Which is why I'm asking to bring Korekuta-san back to the witness stand, so we can ask him.
Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay.
Are there going to be 4 witnesses? I can't believe we've come back round to that pair again. But I have a hunch. A strong hunch. That if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find that it's a key element in the case. There are 4 witnesses. I mean, the witness, the bar is super wide now.
What is this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for my little baby idol? When my son's belly is empty, he is fiercer than a pack of wolves.
Exploited by the police, we were. Like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom myself, I became a ruined man in a trice, a worthless, withered antique. Oh, nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Rasutei shop owner's existence.
Be that as it may, Korekuta-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasute memory serves,
What? That's... Yes, that's it. That's the one. The very one. The very exact one that it is. The resplendent, splendiferous, hoary treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day. It can't be.
As I thought.
Young man. Enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped?
Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the season's mixed juices.
Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously?
Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident. Which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Oh, somebody concealed my hoary treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate. Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing?
So many silences in this game. Excuse me. Could I say something? Yes, of course.
proceed, Inspector Osnaga.
I mentioned this earlier on in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Ah, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation.
The Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau.
Wicked crimes indeed.
We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. Oh, so that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. Seems likely that this Kaban incident is the work of the same thief. Oh, this guy is a bit sweaty over there. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. Oh, I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Korakuta-san's koban is all too clear.
What? What?
I think the court would like to hear the defense view on this matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Korekuta-san's koban and hid it under the steak?
Well, obviously, the search sergeant. Oh, or is it Giselle Brett? No. Must be him, alright? She can't be both killer and a thief there. There would be no point.
Take that!
Obviously, can only be you. Sergeant, yes, I know, sir. What? How dare you, you monster! Monster?
I stole that cobra, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of this crime, cadet? But it wasn't me. It was Ido. Ido is the mastermind behind all this.
What, the baby? But he's so cute. Eh?
You would push the blame of your crimes onto your own son? An innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. You.
Ah, what? What's going on? Clippity clap, clippity clap, clippity clap. What? What? Wait, what? What was that?
Nippon Imperial Army. Nippon Imperial Army. Sergeant Yesanosa. Preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir.
What?
Do any of you know?
Wow, this one's trying to taking ages. They're all like that.
Of the extraordinarily low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays, though it expects to keep our country safe. I understand that a temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remain in place. And I have heard it's hard for lower ranking officers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son.
Oh, that's why you were stealing things at the restaurants?
The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days I'd go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I'd enjoy jumping my way through a good steak at the same time.
Oh, it sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even. Which is wildly believable. And your target that day was the old man, his copan.
Yes, sir. It was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are. I was all set to leave the steak. I was all the way through devouring when it happened. Bang!
Yes, when the professor was shot.
I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. I do too. So I hid the incriminating evidence and as fast as I could, on the double. I slipped it under the steak, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date.
with the silence. This is ridiculous. Oh, perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time. Well, Miss Brett.
Of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. May the esteemed gentleman please be excused, Your Excellency?
Indeed. The theft of the Koban was clearly perpetrated by this, baby sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder.
Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it? And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Very well. Now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave.
Oh, thank you, Excellency. Good luck, everyone.
No objection.
And good day.
Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming.
Oh, no, it's just something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up.
If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard.
Sorry?
You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
Wait! Miss Brett! Oh, what is it now? I'm afraid that just one last time. There's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. Oh, what are you talking about? What contradiction?
Objection!
What new student nonsense is this?
Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke? Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. What? Oh yeah.
I'm going to see evidence, counsel. I'm going to need to see evidence, counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it?
I think that should be the one, because so she said it was his steak, and we are all assuming it was her steak. So I guess this picture is gonna say it, right? I hope it is.
Take that!
The photographic print of the scene taken immediately after the incident occurred.
What's interesting is the plate of steak that you can see on the victim's table.
The steak that Miss Brett has been eating before the professor was killed, yes. Go on.
More accurately, Your Excellency. The steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
And now you're just splitting hairs.
Not true. Doesn't something about this steak strike you as very unnatural?
Unnatural? What on earth do you mean?
It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten.
How?
Oh, I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett.
Notice what exactly, Counsel?
Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork.
Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself.
Then take a good look at this steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there.
Ah! It looks like Miss Brett has realized something.
So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
Objection!
But what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was one of Venice. Whatever you said, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course. This will all be over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. I've heard enough. You irritating little spectacled samurai relic. You irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Of course. Dear lady!
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers?
Now clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implication these teeth marks in the steak have for her.
Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes, now at last, it's all coming together. It's all come together.
The mysterious teeth marks in the steak that have allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all that who shot Dr. Wilson that day.
I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us?
Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything!
Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson.
Shut
Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats.
How can you be so sure?
Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago.
Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Hasn't been? What?
But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
Oh, this is absurd. The trial has run several hours already. And you say that's evidence yet to be brought forward?
It's been hours.
There can't be. I don't believe you have it.
Objection!
I don't. There is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to,
It will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair?
Who does? I think it's Satoru Hosonaga, because he's got the other stakes. Well, I think he's the one. Let's go.
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it?
Me? Yes.
You? You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous.
No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this stake with these marks.
Yes.
Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting to stealing Korekuta-san's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak.
You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer.
Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under in fact your own steak?
Attention! Affirmative, of course. Might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it.
In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table.
Objection!
Yet, the gentlewoman doesn't take the bite out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course, I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire.
Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over. Eh? You did switch the plates?
Well, after it happened, they, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my stake and hid the coin underneath it. But then, when the waiter announced that he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my stake with the one on the foreign lady's table.
What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing.
It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done.
Unbelievable!
However, fear not, Prosecutor-san.
What now?
I swear on the brass buttons on my uniform. That is all I did, sir.
Oh, you did. That's bloody Sergeant.
Yes!
So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate was back on to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the surgeon's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both.
Ah,
She's biting her glasses. That's correct. Then please, present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot.
oh, what can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat. It can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
No, you're not wiggling your way out of it this time, lady.
I beg your pardon?
Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why this steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no?
You're the one who decided it was a problem, not me.
The slamming down doesn't their hands hurts. Maybe, I don't know, but maybe if you have enough conviction, then your hands do not hurt. The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing.
Thinks he remembers.
I'm quite sure what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson,
there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest.
I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett.
Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir.
Sorry for keeping you.
Here is the other steak and its plate. Please, feel free to examine it. There is blood. The blood stain. It's clearly visible, look!
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim.
It can't be!
In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right, Mr. Zale Brett. It's you!
Oh no, the swan! The swan is dying. Outdone by a Japanese.
Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No. No. No.
What? Is he gonna flee? Wait, what? That's a black one. Wait, what's going on? What? Chicks everywhere. Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. A most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time.
I'm glad, Your Excellency. Is she gonna tell the truth? Oh, it was I who took the professor's life using Karar. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water? Because Karar isn't unheard of here in Japan. Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water and it would all be over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone. And leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter. But the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such as that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment.
A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man.
I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of Gerard in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Under your skirt?
So I was right. There were 2 guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Placed where you were sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, bang! That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point, he was already dead. How naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared.
Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside.
Oh, that's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around.
Because of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson's from where he'd picked up the gun.
So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Your Excellency?
Yes?
I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later?
I shall call on you.
Thank you. Good day then, everyone.
Wait, what?
I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san.
She's just gonna leave? It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement?
This can't be. Taketsushi Yauchi does not lose. No, to the likes of this Soroki student.
You'd better start getting used to tough opposition.
Arinasuke and Naruto.
Well, yeah.
This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten.
You've become conceited with age, Council. But the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. A 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Ouchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan.
Well, you know what? That's exactly what's gonna happen. Because our descendant, which is Phoenix Wright, is gonna go to court against the descendant of this guy in 1,000 years. Well, maybe not in 1,000 years, a few hundred years.
This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history at the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. I am.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its door to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what it will look like I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asogi. Yes? After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I understand, Your Excellency.
What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden?
Ah, never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Oh, yes?
In you I sense... how can I put it? Unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty.
He's still completely, stunned by the verdict.
This court is now adjourned.
Ooh. November 22nd, 2:46 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendants Antechamber 5. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself, and I made it through that horrendous trial.
Ah, Ryunosuke. You finally pulled it off. Congratulations.
Oh well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma.
Ha 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 ha. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget.
Ah. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Oh. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruto-san's innocence.
Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know?
Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Ah, your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and to investigate. Your father? Ah yes, of course. Oh, forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, judicial assistant to the defense. Speaking of Mikotoba...
Oh, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job.
Oh, thank you, Professor.
Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you, after all. Your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend.
Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Woodson to Yume University, was it?
Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably that's when you met Dr. Woodson. Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital.
Oh, you worked together.
I've never heard you mention that before. Oh well, it was a long time ago now. Besides... It's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. Oh, I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan.
You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you?
Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way.
Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes.
That reminds me. What's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Oh yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but,
What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit after all.
She will be leaving Japan in the very near future for Shanghai.
What? Shanghai?
Zelbret will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that.
Wait, what? But why not?
It's a matter of consular jurisdiction.
Who said that?
Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the continent today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate... But what's all this about but consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan.
What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's going to bring her to justice?
A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away, where our voices can be heard.
But why consular court?
Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the friendship treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments. They can't invoke a consular court just like that.
Oh, can't they?
Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on.
So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan?
I'm afraid that for the young student. Today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her.
I don't believe it.
The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. It's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink.
But Professor...
You're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival! Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. The Carnival's food is second to none.
Oh, I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh yes, thank you. So, Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma.
Yes? Ryunosuke?
I just wanted to say thanks again. That's all. You really saved my skin today.
Ha 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 ha. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? The defense was all your own work.
Your skills made the difference though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world.
I'm not so sure about that.
Huh?
To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during the trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer. Not me.
What? Come on, be serious.
If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean.
Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat. I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you.
Oh, that's the point.
Sorry, what? What do you mean? That's the point.
Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs to... Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win?
Knowledge of the law?
No. The ability to believe.
To believe? To believe what?
A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times.
Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it?
I'm human, just like you. Don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe in even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person.
Believing your client?
Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stop believing in me.
Well,
you faced seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it. Through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me.
Thanks, Kazuma? What is it?
There's something I want to ask you actually, Ryunosuke.
So serious now.
Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me.
Oh, it sounds serious. What is...
Ah, you're still there, aren't you? Are you?
Oh, Inspector Hosonaga.
I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversion again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first scored victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah, yes. That too. So, my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Susato-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through the trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. Let's save all that. The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. It was quite good. Ah, yes. It's crazy. It's crazy. Mental. So many twists. Oh yeah. I don't actually know how many trials there are in this game. I think we're gonna you know, get to the next ones soon. Probably not tomorrow then, though. But you know. I'm going out for a meal tomorrow. Ah, well, it's not gonna be tomorrow, so it's good. So I want to peep out. Yeah, not sure how COVID is in England right now. I feel like it's... don't have much news about that those days. Hi? Really? But since you're vaccinated, then you can just, you know, go out for dinner. Yeah, I feel like there isn't as much news about that than before. I don't know why. Yeah, still no end in sight for that, sadly. Anyway, we'll get back to... yeah, everything is null, but cases are rising. I think it's rising a bit in France as well. I don't know what's gonna happen. Anyway, we'll see. Just like we'll see what happens in you know, not Phoenix Wright, but the Greatest Ace Attorney Chronicles. It's gonna be around forever, probably. And we'll be able to tell our children that, you know, we knew a time without COVID.
Anyway, thanks for being with me tonight. Please take care. Well, stay safe. And hopefully we'll continue that very soon. Bye.